What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast. That's right, the official podcast of the Geeks Company. My name is JS. His name is Geoff. That's Roberto, the bad guy. We are the Geeks Company. Welcome to the show, boys. How you guys doing? I feel like this is going to be one of those ones where there's going to be a lot of banter because we were already like at it before this started. We're not going to get back to the Mario thing. I promise, Rob, we won't revisit the Mario thing. Oh, there's someone here for a second.
Oops,
whoa, who could that have been?
My fault.
How are you guys doing this fine week?
Toxic Fox, how you doing? Good to see you. Actually, I think it's been a bit since we've seen Brittany in the chat. So what's going on? Howdy ho, Geekarinos. Well, howdy ho, Andrew Saxon. Nada, hi everyone. Well, hello, Nada. Good to see some of the faithful kicking in early on for three middle-aged men talking shit for an hour on a Thursday at 7 o'clock. You guys must be bored. Goodness. I love the diversity. The diversity on our podcast is amazing.
Yeah. Well, you don't have
to the nation's capital. Oh, Michael, given the are you in Ottawa?
Michael
So you're still in Ottawa? Wow, good for you.
Why was he down in
Ottawa? You really wanted to get away from the Swifties, eh? Jesus.
Oh, wow.
I went all the way to fucking Ottawa to get away from the Swifties. You not down with Tay-Tay? Come on. Hi, gang. I'm making soup, so it's a good time. Well, okay. I have two questions.
Excellent.
What kind of soup, and how do I get some? Because I am a soup whore.
Are you really now?
Oh, fuck, dude. I love it. Are you kidding me? Soups and stews, especially in the wintertime? Oh,
interesting.
There's nothing like a really good soup.
I like soups, but I do not like stew. Not my thing. I've never liked
No,
stew.
eh?
I love them both, and I make them both. So
fair enough. Toxic Fox, this is my pre-show for Sunday. Oh, yes. You're going to be at the Geeky Holiday Market on Sunday, I'm assuming? Mm-hmm. I will be there as well. I don't know in what, and I don't know for how long, but I'm gonna get there. Michael, you're saying you're still in Ottawa. Cool, man. I like Ottawa. Every time I've been, a buddy of mine used to live in Ottawa, so I used to go visit him. And yeah, it's a nice city.
Live in Ottawa. Well, I mean, I lived in Gatineau, but technically in Hull, but whatever.
Yeah. I think I've only been to Ottawa once.
It's a nice city.
Drive-throughing. Yeah, I've never been. In recent memory.
It is visually a pretty city. It's fun when you want to go visit. You know, there's a lot of stuff to do. It's a cool place, but there's a very weird divide between Ottawa and Gatineau. And it's a very government town. So people there either work for the government or they live off the government is kind of what it feels like. So it's a weird living there is weird. It's not like any other. Yeah, it's not like any other place I've been in. I still have very good friends that live in Ottawa, and you know, I lived there for 7 years.
Soki C saying hi, everyone. Hello, Soki C. Red Moon Glassworks. I'm still trying to get down to London on Sunday, so if I'm there, I'll bring some. Yeah, you will. Andrew saying I'm finishing up work tickets, so you're a welcome distraction. Awesome. Jamie C. and Brian 360. What is this old home week? Is it a reunion and nobody told me?
I know, right?
Haven't seen Jamie or Brian tuning in the podcast in a long time, guys. Welcome back. Nice to have you. Hey, Geeks is Keith L. Andre is on his way home. Andre is here every week, man. God bless you, Andre. I don't know if you've missed a week since you first started tuning in, man. That's awesome.
And Andre's at all the cons. I mean, and it doesn't matter which one you go at. You know, you'll see him.
No, I love Andre.
And he's probably going to win a prize.
Yeah, he's probably going to win something.
Probably going to win something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, Andre's the shit. Yeah, you guys are right. It's watching three middle-aged men just talk shit for an hour this week. It's a Geekly update. We haven't done any more of these in a while. So if there are specific geek things that you guys want to talk about that maybe we aren't going to get to, maybe it's not in our wheelhouse or we just haven't looked it up, then throw it in the chat and we'll happily shake our fist at it like the bitter old men that we are. And we're going to talk about obviously our experience at Toronto Game Expo as well, right? This past weekend.
Yeah, we need to get to that for sure.
Because that was, in a word, fabulous. I mean, shows seemed to go off without a hitch, and I feel like we kind of fulfilled what we were asked and tasked to do. And we were talking to the pre-show. It felt like, I don't want to say there's Queen Harleen. Yeah, that's the one that helped us out, got us set up, and and kept us on task for the whole time. And that, if that woman's not the hardest working cosplayer in the community, I don't know who is, man. Like, holy cow, she's at every event. She's running and organizing half of them. She was everywhere. And at no time, you'll get to a point where, like, if you're organizing an event like that and you've got 80 people dogging you with questions and you're running all over the place and you start getting stressed out and
no, thank you.
Man,
no,
she
thank
was
you.
absolutely a fucking queen the whole time. So, Megan, hats off to you. Anytime you need us for a con that you're involved with and running, I would say that's a pretty good bet that we would be there for that. So,
for sure,
you are a champ. But what was your guys' impression of Toronto? Let's start there. What was your guys' impression of Toronto Game Expo?
It was fantastic. Harleen confirmed in the chat they had over 5,500 people.
Isn't that bonkers?
Show up in a period of let's call it 6 hours.
11 to 5 or 11 to 6 or whatever it was, 6-7 hours.
Yeah, no, and 11 to noon was just like the doors weren't open yet.
The VIPs and such. Yeah,
guys,
the general.
The lineup was around BMO Field all the way down to the GO train.
Yeah,
like it was bonkers.
Yeah,
I did not think there was going to be that many people there. Luckily, that's a good-sized space.
Space is way bigger than I thought it was.
Same here.
Size space. So that was listen, I had fun. It was a great show. Everybody was amazing. The 501st showed up in their Star Wars, obviously. And joined us, and we did a big walk around with Sean as Vader. That was dope.
People were losing their minds. Our good friend Sean Sullivan, who goes by Plaid Vader on Instagram, is probably, I want to say 6'6", 6'7", somewhere in that range.
Be something like that.
So when he puts the Vader on, probably with the boots and everything too, he's easily a head taller than everybody else. Yeah. And in a lot of other costumes, and by the way, he's the same guy who does Chewbacca, so it really works with Chewbacca too. But when he's walking around as Vader and he's a head taller than everybody else, heads turn to see that dude walking by. Like I got to see, because I was a stormtrooper, so I got to kind of be like, trailing after dad for the whole time. And so I got to see a lot of people's reactions to when they saw him and saw what was going on. And they were and I think the fact that it was a game expo and we were rolling up, because you're in your Revan, he's in his Kylo, we got stormtroopers, we got Vader, we've got Maul, we've got like all these crazy great costumes, and just the look on people's faces, I got the sense that like
Mando,
like, and Christina's Mandalorian. Yeah, I feel like they were almost shocked, like they weren't expecting to see kind of that level of. Yeah,
a lot of people I think were caught off guard.
Yeah, a little bit.
They'd turn around and they'd be like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah,
like you could tell, like the kids. Some of the kids were like
just like lost their minds,
losing their minds. Yeah, like it was dope. That was fantastic. Listen, I love it.
Yeah,
there is a good video on Suit Up for Jack's Instagram page of all of us.
Yep.
Check it out if you haven't seen it.
Is everybody in that picture, in that video? I feel like there was people missing in that video.
I think you're missing.
No, I'm at the end.
Oh, you're at the end.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're all in it.
Yeah, I think everybody's in that one.
We might be missing a couple troopers, like the Sand Trooper.
I think the other two stormtroopers stayed at the booth, because when we finally came back around, they were standing in the booth.
So maybe it was one of those things where they turned around and we were gone. I don't know.
Well, when the video goes by, you can see Vader beside me, and he's literally like this much taller.
This much taller.
Yeah. Because he's like, I'm too skinny to be Vader. I'm like, you don't get it, bro. It doesn't matter. Like, you're so tall, people immediately see you and just like, boop. Midlife. Speaking of Maul, there he is right there. Midlife cosplay in the chat. Bob, it's an onion, also there as well. Bob, hope you're feeling good.
And I'm going to say this, and I've said this on the podcast before, and actually I've said it to a lot of people. Richard's Maul is by far the best Maul that I've seen. Even that Maul cosplay guy to me doesn't look Maul like Richard looks Maul. There's something about what Richard does with his makeup that is just bonkers. And he just sat there doing his makeup right there.
Yeah, with a little mirror
And
at
then
his,
you
at
turn
his
around
table,
and he's Maul.
and
it's
he's
like,
Darth
what the
Maul.
hell?
Now he came in just with his regular skin, but he had all the
Oh,
horns already stuck on his head. And his
That
face.
was awesome.
It's like, that's dope. Now, here's something funny that I didn't know. In my stormtrooper helmet, there's a green polarized like lens or whatever inside that goes across the eye holes, and for whatever reason, it completely blocks the color red. So when I looked over at Richard, it looked like, and I mean no disrespect or offense, it looked like he was doing blackface because there was no red. It was just a solid black with the horns, and I don't realize this is what's happening because I held a helmet on when he finished his makeup, and I was like, what's he doing? Like, why is he walking around without the red? He's going to get lynched. What are we doing? And then I finally took the helmet off. I was like, oh, never mind. You can't. Like, even his lightsaber, because it was red, it wasn't even, there was no light coming off it to the visor. I should let you guys look through it next time.
Yeah.
It just looked like a plastic tube. That's all it looked like. It was wild.
You know what? Before I looked into your helmet, I had no idea that those were green visors.
Yeah.
Are they all green visors?
They must be because Christina's that I had on was similar, and it's the same style. It's the stunt helmet, so it's the rounded as opposed to the flat.
Mm-hmm.
But her green did not do what my green does with the color red. So I don't know if it's some sort of polarization that's going on with that particular piece that's in there or something. But yeah, it was. I was having a little flip out on our boy Midlife there. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, this is a bad look, dude. We can't do this. You got to go somewhere else. Don't be with us. But,
Jimmy says green cancels red. Well, there you go. I suppose.
That must be what it is. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but like I said, it didn't happen with Christina's helmet, and that had the green thing too. But anyways, I agree with you. Actually, I gotta admit, my favorite Maul for Richard is what he did at our May the 4th event, where he put on like a Hawaiian shirt and he was vacation Maul. Like he kept all the eyes and the makeup and everything else. You could tell he was just having the time of his life the whole time. He was like a lot more comfortable in it, and then it's one of those things where you hope he drives home like that, and then he gets pulled over, and the cops got to go up to the window like, "Sir, you've clearly been drinking tonight. You're clearly under the influence of something, man. I don't know what, but get out of the car right now." In the clink and the drunk tank is fucking vacation Maul, right? Yeah.
He drove in that way too, with all the horns attached to his head.
Fucking Princess Leia coming in there to bail him out.
Listen, I had a great time. If you didn't know, next year they announced that it's going to be 2 days. I'm assuming Saturday, Sunday.
The 29th and the 30th of March, guys, is next year's first show. It is 2 weeks after March Toronto Comic Con. So mark it on your calendars. 2-day tickets are already on sale. Okay, they went on sale at the end of the show last weekend, so the pre-sale is already on for those tickets. If this past November's show was any indication, get your tickets, kids. Don't wait on it, because as big as that building is, there's only so many people you can fit in it. So,
yeah.
Rob, what was your impression of the show? Because this was one you were genuinely hyped for, yeah? Like, you seem to be like really into this, and this is kind of like in your wheelhouse. You were talking about 1 day, not as huge.
Well, that's where I was going to go with this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I got like super hyped about it. I wanted to go play Duck Hunt and all that stuff, but we had booth duties to do. But these are like the perfect size cons that I like doing, right? The smaller ones. And the thing about this con is it didn't feel small. Like, it didn't feel small whatsoever.
No, it didn't feel
at
like
all.
A small con. You're right.
I couldn't, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that con and say like a much larger con. There was still a lot of people there, but you could move around freely, right? It was super packed, but it wasn't like the Toronto Comic Con days a couple of years ago where you couldn't move at all and panic inducing. Yeah. It was perfectly sized, and a lot of cosplayers showed up, which is another good thing.
That was fantastic.
Huge amount of cosplayers showed up. Huge amount of cosplayers from a bunch of different, and I want a bunch of diverse cosplayers that showed up for guests. Sorry, on the guest side of it, right? They did an amazing job at having a really great selection of cosplayers there, right? It wasn't all sort of one type or body type, or it was a good spread of cosplayers, which I thought was a really great job that they did on that.
That was all Queen Harleen as well, eh?
Yeah, I know. The kudos to that. Like we always talk about the care and attention that go to the cosplayer community. And she really leaned into that. Obviously, she's a cosplayer and understands it, but did a great job with that, I think. I had a great time there. I think it was a really fun con. For sure.
I think it's important for these smaller cons too that they like. I understand when you get to the bigger cons and they're bringing in quote unquote celebrity guests, and comic book artists and creators and YouTube stars and whatever, that it kind of starts to shrink down the availability for cosplay guests. But when you get into the cons of this size, where you're kind of getting away from the smaller con to the mid-range con, you're still not going to draw in a bunch of what you would consider to be big celebrities, but you want to make sure there's guests there for people to interact with and to show that it's a con, not just a giant flea market, but this is an actual convention. So that's where I feel like it's such an amazing thing to see for me in the last 10 years, the way the hobby has grown, that now that space is being provided to cosplayers. And like you're saying, a wide range of cosplayers. Like these types of shows to me are the perfect shows for that, because they fill that gap, right? The cosplayers love to be there because they want to show off their work. They want to have that recognition, and they want to have a chance to interact with the people that they see on their, Instagrams or TikToks or whatever. But at the same time, for the con itself, it's not a huge expense for them. They just got to provide the space in a lot of cases. So it feels like a win-win. And I love seeing that more and more often as I've grown in the hobby and I've seen these cons develop. Having more and more guests like that, I think is the way it's clearly going, and I'm happy to see it, and I hope it continues that way.
I think I'm not sure, like every time we walked by that kind of guest alley there, they were all packed. It was rammed, talking to people, a lot of interaction. So I hope it went well for them. It looks like it did from my perspective when I walked by. And then the events that were going on the stage, right? A lot of those same guests were running different kind of events, trivia, like Corky and Reed were doing the trivia, and
ramen eating contest,
ramen eating and the anime stuff, and
no, it was. I'll even go a little bit further and say that this con has an edge that a lot of the other cons don't have, and it's the whole gaming area. You could literally go there and spend the day just playing video games. You could have done
tabletop games, right? Like
tabletop games or card games or whatever, right? You could have spent the day doing just that, right? So there's a whole half, well, maybe not a half, a whole, let's call it third of the floor that was all just you being able to do stuff.
Yes.
Like cons don't have a lot of things like that anymore, which is always what I've pitched about the Geeks & Co. is you could come and do stuff. You can come in and meet your favorite characters. You can come and see some cool props. You can come and meet other cosplayers if you're a cosplayer. You know what I mean? Like we kind of offer that spot where you can do things at the con that doesn't mean you buying something. And this con had a lot of that. And I think
in the back half, I agree. In fact, if I were to have one piece of feedback for the con itself, it might be a better diversity of vendors, because they're really, and I understand it's more of a video game con or a tabletop con than it is, and I understand too the tie between a lot of the anime and manga stuff and video game stuff. I get how they're very tightly intertwined, but the vendors, I mean, there were, what would you say, 8 to 10 long rows of vendors, and like half of them were almost all exclusively anime, which was basically like stickers, prints, and pins, and then the other half was just video games. I would love to see a little bit more diversity in the types of vendors, so it doesn't feel as quote unquote flea markety, where it feels more like a show, like you're looking to showcase a bunch of different styles and vendors and such. I understand for a show like that, you want to bring stuff that's going to sell and that's going to do well. I'm not saying bring like fucking dinosaurs and whatever, but I'm just saying like maybe a little bit more when you're going up 5 aisles and you've just passed the exact same types of booths over and over and over. I kept on thinking, by the time I get to the 5th aisle, I'm like, how are any of these guys actually making money when they're all basically selling just slight variations of the exact same thing over and over and over again? So if, as far as the piece of feedback goes, that would, everything else I thought was brilliant. Like the stage shows were so well attended. Like holy fucking shit, man. Like every time there was a show on stage, all the chairs in front were packed. People had cameras out. People were doing movements. They had fucking lights and shit. Like it was like wild, the level of participation that you got from there. And that's that tight knit, like anime manga style community that's really into all that different stuff. That was really great to see, watching that level of participation. We've all been to shows where something's going on up on the stage or on a panel, and like 4 people show up and they're snoozing their way through on their phones the whole time. But
not the case.
Watching the excitement based on that, I was like, good for you guys. That's fantastic. Anyways, we had a good time. I would say the Geeks & Co. had a good time. Obviously, I feel like the con felt the same way because they have invited us back in the same role for next year for March. So unless something drastic happens, you will see your Geeks & Co. back in the same role, probably right beside the stage again, and working the audio equipment and doing the announcements and still bringing our A game for cosplays. Well, who knows? We did Star Wars this year. Who knows what we're going to do next year? Maybe we'll do something different. Maybe we'll do something the same. Maybe we'll have some new shit. Who knows?
We'll do something new. Who knows? Who knows?
We're going to do something new.
Which, by the way, we've not discussed at all.
No,
yet,
we have
so,
no. I think I just learned now for the first time that we're confirmed to go back. So
yep.
Andrew Saxon here is saying, I applaud them for sticking to a theme. Go to a game con to game, Comic Con for comics, Toy Con for toys, etc., etc. And I agree. And that I think is a great move. There are no other gaming type of conventions that I know of in the GTA. There's Game Con out in Calgary,
Calgary-ish.
Calgary was,
which is also apparently massive.
Wait.
But
Steve is saying, Guardians by chance, boys. I see a Thanos, a Star-Lord. Please inform us who's who.
Would you be playing this particular character?
Yeah.
Fallout.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you, Richard, if you do end up upgrading your ghoul mask and you're not using your old ghoul mask, just saying.
Well, I don't even know if that would fit you. I mean, it's molded literally to his face.
Close bit padding.
I mean, I guess he's got a bigger head than you. I mean, I suppose, but
nobody's got a bigger head than me.
Jeff is saying, not Jeff. Steve is saying you're Yondu, Jeff.
I'm Yondu. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Jeff is Drax. Apparently, Jeff is super Jeff not Drax. That's Drax. We don't have a Drax. You're Yondu, Jeff. The boys can duke out for Thanos. So who the hell was the Star-Lord then that you saw? You said you saw. Now I'm curious. Yes, guys, go ahead. If you need to cast us as the Guardians of the Galaxy, and by the way, you can include editor Megan in here. She was obviously either be Gamora, Mantis, or Nebula, but she's got Nebula vibes. Actually,
she would make a dope Nebula, but
she would make a really good Nebula.
Like, we should do with that.
As soon as it was out of my mouth, I'm like, yeah, she would kill it. As now you can be Star-Lord for sure, Jeff. I'm a little old for Star-Lord, but
you could be like an old man Star-Lord.
I think Iska Voice is saying Jeff is Drax because Drax is clearly the dumbest in the group. I think that's where she's going with that. At first, I was like, "Oh, thank you, me and my cut." And wait a minute, he's just the big dumb guy. Yeah. Megan could do a great Nebula. Tiffany Little, how you doing, Tiff? Speaking of the show, we had just down from us a great DC booth that Tiffany was at, along with Phoenix Funhouse and Tyler and Danica and their Joker and Punchline, and fantastic booth. I think they did a really good job with that. So looking forward to seeing more of that. Hopefully we get to see more. I like, don't get me wrong. I know we kind of pride ourselves that we're not one central theme, but I love seeing the theme booths. Like you guys are owning that DC stuff.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right. I think it's good to have. It doesn't always have to be Star Wars and Doctor Who, right? Like having some of their theme booths, I think is pretty great. So I see Rob doing a rocket. Rob's the furry. Rob's the furry. Really? Rob's the
furry.
I don't know if Rob's the furry.
I'm willing to try anything, but I'm a little tall for that, but you never know.
Yeah.
Jeff has ego. I mean,
Well,
I feel
Jeff
like I
has an
might have
ego.
more the look of ego than Jeff at this point.
That's true.
I
You would
I have
actually.
more the waistline of ego anyway.
Wow, I don't know about that, but you would make a pretty good ego. But we said guardians; they got to be actual guardians, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
or at least guardian adjacent, like a Yondu or whatever.
So anyway,
Attitude-wise, Jeff is more rocket. Yeah, this is fun. We should do this all the time. We should be like, all right, so
Yeah.
to the next group. Now you have to cast us and that shit. The show was great. We're looking forward to doing it again. And yeah, who knows what we're going to do for the next one. But yes, thank you. Megan, if you're still there, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it. And we're looking forward to helping out with the show moving forward for sure.
yeah, keep your eyes open, folks. We'll for sure let you know what's going on for next
Oh
year.
my God.
Look,
hold on
Andre
a
won
second.
something.
Yeah,
Of course he
you did.
I was fortunate enough to win the Funhouse raffle. Much appreciated. God damn it, Andre.
Of course you won.
He's got like a whole like storage room at home full of things he's won.
I don't. How does that happen? I get. You know what? I think I'm just gonna. The next time there's an event, I'm gonna have Andre buy the tickets,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and, maybe somebody else will have a chance of winning something. If he buys all the tickets and then resells them, there you go, Andre. Gimmick for you, right
There you go.
there.
Your chance of winning just tripled.
We were supposed to talk about the news tonight. We keep saying we're not going to do these Geekly updates anymore, and we're going to do like a separate show, but that show never
Yeah,
happened.
but then we are doing 2 separate after shows on top of this, and it feels like it's just too
we
much,
are.
right?
We are, and got some other stuff that I'm planning.
Ooh.
Mr. Robbie, the bad guy.
Do I know about this or
You don't,
Am I
but
learning what
I'll
it is?
just say that I need to.
I'm saying something with Rob. Surprise, Rob.
All I'll say is I need to clean the prop shop, but we'll leave it at that.
we're not doing the feet thing, right?
Well,
Ew.
I mean, why not?
Oh,
Times
I
are
mean, it
tough
was
anyway.
good. Yeah.
times are tough. You got to fund this somehow, boys.
Which brings us
taking the
to
Blue Jays game to buy 50-50 tickets. There you go. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
that is a good idea.
News. The news in the world of geek.
Good news. We haven't talked about news in a while.
Mhm.
And it doesn't feel like a whole lot. Actually, that's not true. A lot has happened, but are there any big news? What's the big news?
What's the
Is there
juicy
any big
news?
news in here?
I mean, there is. There's been a bunch of stuff that's dropped in the interim. Like we did get a more extended trailer for Thunderbolts. We got a full
Good.
extended trailer for Captain America: Brave New World.
Good.
Both of them are going for very specific tone, I guess I would say. Like Captain America: Brave New World is definitely, that trailer wanted to make it seem like they're taking it very seriously. Like it's almost like Winter Soldier, kind of dour,
Yeah.
not quippy, not funny, but like
Winter
shit's
Soldier with the
getting
alt.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's going to be as grounded as Winter Soldier is, but it definitely, that trailer made it seem like this isn't your usual Marvel joke fest. Like there's not going to be a bunch of dick and fart jokes. Like we're taking this seriously.
Good.
Which it felt like, yeah, Civil War kind of got away from that a little bit. So if this is kind of like a return to that. So the overriding comment that I keep seeing about, I love Anthony Mackie, don't get me wrong, but a non-powered like a Captain America that's just a dude, right? Like he was, I just rewatched the scene where he meets Steve for the first time, and he's essentially a retired para-rescue guy. So it wasn't even like he was a frontline combat guy or a special forces guy. He was a guy that was working at the VA, and his previous job had been a para-rescue, which is how he got the wings and knew how to use the wings. So that guy, who is essentially a guy without an ambulance, like a paramedic without an ambulance, but with wings instead, is Captain America. Is that bothering anybody else, or is it just me? Like Steve Rogers was a trained soldier, a super soldier, had the serum, was faster, stronger, and better than any normal human. And he could fight. And now you've got a guy that was a paramedic that can fly, has no powers of any kind. He's just a guy. And he's going to be the guy to be Captain America.
The lack of super soldier serum type of thing, no powers, really bothers me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the trailer, but I did see like a 5-second thing that I assume came from the trailer where Red Hulk like throws a car at him or something, and he jumps all fancy and cuts the car in half with his wings.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, that's cool, but like, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't do that if I put on a pair of wings. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they're gonna sell this to us when we.
Well, the theory that I keep seeing people talk about, by the way, a fan theory. There's no indication anywhere, but the fan theory that I keep seeing is he's going to take such a shit kicking at some point in the film that to basically save his life, they're going to have to hit him with a serum of some kind, right? Because they have had other guys get serum and have mixed results, but like he's going to get like Red Hulk's going to like fucking twist him up, and they're going to have to give him the serum to basically keep him alive, and then he'll be a super soldier. And that's again a fan theory, guys. Happens, there's no I need Captain America. I feel Captain America is more of a moral ideal. I'm okay with the serum as a symbol. I agree with you. As something
fighting the Hulk. No thanks.
As something for people to rally around, but to fight in the middle of an alien invasion, or to like the airport fight in Civil War, or even a lot of the stuff he had to go through. Like he's going toe to toe with Bucky, who's a super soldier. Bucky would fold Sam Wilson like a cheap shirt in about 4 seconds. Like the fight would be over before it started. So it feels normal people shouldn't be able to catch Captain Shield. Yeah, putting him up as a symbol, I agree with you. That can be anybody. It's like when people say like Batman, like anybody can be Batman, or anybody can wear the mask for Spider-Man. Well, no, they can't, because Batman's trained for 30 years to be the pinnacle of human fighting and conditioning, and Spider-Man has fucking superpowers. So I don't really love that idea that anybody could wear the mask and be that. That's completely but in this case in particular, man alive, that Steve Rogers wasn't just a handsome brother. He could kick a lot of ass, and Sam's dude.
I agree that the comment that I see online a lot when people bring up what you're just saying now is, but it happened in the comics. Yeah, but it was dumb in the comics as well. I never liked Sam Wilson being Captain America in the comics. To be honest, I didn't like Bucky being Captain America in the comics. If you're gonna kill Captain America off, kill him off.
Yeah.
Like really? Like, I don't understand that. It's just like I don't want a symbol. It's to me, I don't like the passing of the cowl. Batman, there's no other Batman. Right? Sure, Batman Beyond was a thing, but that wasn't Batman. That was Batman Beyond. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like I don't like this whole passing of the torch thing. If you kill off the character, you kill off the character. If you didn't want to kill off the character, then why did you kill him off? Like, these are comic books, for crying out loud. Sorry. That's my whole feeling in this. So no, I hate the whole. I'm neither Bucky or Falcon camp.
For those two again, minute 32 was when JS lost his mind and ranted about Captain America.
Yeah, I'm neither camp. Like, I hate that idea. Now, trailer looks dope. I'm not gonna lie, and Red Hulk looks pretty crazy, man. Let me tell you something. Han Solo as the Hulk, fucking A. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Harrison, did you not see the we get a it looks wicked.
Weird. Sorry.
It looks weird, but I love it, man. I think he's gonna play I think he's gonna be better than rest his soul.
Ruffalo.
No, the other guy that played the general.
William Hurt.
William Hurt.
I don't know. He was a pretty good Thunderbolt Ross.
He did. I think this is going to be. I'm looking for. That's the one thing I'm looking most forward to in this movie.
Megan Murray saying, "Do they have a Captain America in the canon between World War II and him being brought out of the ice in 2010 in the MCU? No,
not in the MCU."
So in the comics, Captain America was amongst the first Marvel heroes in comics. They brought him in when he was timely coming. The first cover of a Captain America comic is him punching Hitler in the face.
Mm-hmm.
So he was around. They show him in World War II, legitimately, and then as the comics progressed, he just progressed with, right? So this was having him in the ice for 70 years. Was there a Captain America in between in the MCU? No.
In comics, yes, Captain America has always been around in the comics, or pretty much.
I don't necessarily have that big a problem with the passing of the cowl, but I think it has to make sense. Like when they did think Batman was dead, Dick Grayson took over, and if there's anybody that could be Batman in Bruce Wayne's place, Dick Grayson at least makes sense.
So yes,
worked with the Bat all those years,
And-
and picked up so many
Yes.
things, did all the training, was even actually on some levels a better fighter even than Bruce. So
correct.
you had that option, but just handing it to a paramedic that has mechanical wings that can fly, no sir. That's
Dick was never
wrong.
going to be Batman in perpetuity, right? Dick
No, I
became
agree.
Batman out of necessity
Yes.
because Gotham was
Yes.
going to shit,
yeah.
right? So that was a little bit of a. You're right. It made sense because they had Batman not being there meant all the crazies were.
Yeah, no, of course,
Out of
because
the
he's a
Lily Dale,
symbol as
right?
well as right. But then you watch the end of The Dark Knight Rises, and the Joseph Gordon-Levitt character, who was just a beat cop, is essentially handed the mantle of
That's-
Batman. No, he's going to go out one time, and 3 gangbangers are going to kick his ass, and then suddenly the mystique of Batman is going to disappear.
Yeah.
And I feel like the same thing would happen in real life, as if we're fucking talking like this is real life, but with just a paramedic with wings being Captain America. That guy's going to get his ass handed to him the first real fight he gets into, and people are going to be like, "Well, I guess Captain America's not really anybody to worry about now."
Yeah.
Hopefully they give
You
him
know
the
what I mean?
serum. Hopefully they give him the serum. All I'm going to say is I hadn't heard that rumor.
No, it's not. No,
That
it's not a rumor.
theory
It's a
or
fan
whatever.
theory only. That's it.
I hadn't heard that. I think that might make me. That might turn me a little bit.
Yes.
But if that's the case, then why wouldn't you just give the mantle to Bucky, who already has super serum in him? He's already got.
And
super
that's the
strength,
Well,
problem.
they got
I think-
other plans for him.
right?
Well, yeah, he's in Thunderbolts.
Well,
right?
he's in the
I-
Thunderbolts now.
I think
but,
that's part of the
yeah.
actual problem. Is I think they're making a point by not having Sam. I think they're trying to make the point that we're arguing that we don't like. They're trying to make it like you can be Captain America. Anybody can really be Captain America. You just have to believe in yourself and try hard.
Yeah, but
Power
you
was in you all. No, I know, but I think that's what they're
Yeah,
trying to do.
It has to. They have to make it make sense here, like you say, fighting
Yeah.
like fucking Red Hulk.
Yeah.
It can't be that he's just a paramedic flying that can do some fancy backflips and cut
That's what
cars
I'm
in
saying.
half with his wings. Like
That's what
I'm
I'm
not
saying.
gonna buy that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that over here. Good points, though, guys, that you're bringing up. Keith L mentioning Isaiah Bradley from Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which was Falcon and the Winter Soldier originally, the TV show.
Well, he wasn't Captain America. He was.
Well,
a
he
super
got the
soldier.
serum. Yeah, he got. the
Yeah,
serum.
he was a super
right?
soldier, but he never held the moniker of Captain America. At least I don't think so. I think they include him in the Captain America museum at the end to show that he was part of that history, but I don't know that he ever held the moniker.
that show because I think I fell asleep for half the episodes of that show because
Yeah,
boring.
There were some aspects of that show that were so good, like the whole Zemo storyline was really good.
And the Zemo
And then
dance. Don't forget the Zemo.
The
dance.
other storyline with that kid, that terrorist kid, that was just like what?
Flag Smasher.
The flag
Yeah.
smashers.
Yeah.
I don't
Shit was
know.
garbage.
That whole storyline was kind of weird to me. Like I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it all spy games, but it didn't work. It didn't work for me. Anyway, did you guys?
Sorry, go ahead. So, well, there were 2 trailers that come out. I mentioned the other one was Thunderbolts, right?
Yeah.
The full Thunderbolts trailer came out, and that's like almost has the opposite tone where they're clearly going for some goofiness, and it's an ensemble cast. There's a team. David Harbour seems to be just chewing scenery as Red Guardian.
It feels like the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
It you know what it feels like? It actually feels like Suicide Squad. It feels like Marvel Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That one has me teetering on the edge. Like, okay, so I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I think Brave New World's going to suck, and I'm just throwing it out there. I hope it doesn't, but I think it might.
I mean, it might.
Thunderbolts, I feel like it's going to be either one end of the spectrum or another. Like it's going to be so charming, and we're going to get so invested in the characters that even if the story's kind of goofy, we're not going to really care because the interactions between all of them are going to be so great, and we're going to fall in love with them all over again, and blah blah blah. Or it's going to be the hottest, biggest mess because there's way too many characters trying to stuff all of their shit into one movie. Because really, a lot of them have only had one film to build, and some of them were just side characters in their one film, like Taskmaster and Ghost, and you know what I mean? Like they weren't even main characters in the one film that they were in.
Yeah.
So you've got obviously a couple like what's her nuts, Florence Pugh, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Bucky,
Mm-hmm.
and those are kind of like the two big main. Because Red Guardian's only been in one film. He was only in Black Widow. I guess Yelena technically has only been in Black Widow, but I think she was in Hawkeye too.
She was in Hawkeye as well.
But a lot of the rest and they're introducing a new character that Lewis Pullman is playing. So
I agree with you. I'm excited to see more of Taskmaster and Ghost, though. As somebody who obviously likes villains and bad guys and stuff, I'm really excited to see more of those two because I think those are dope potential like bad
Ghost
guys.
specifically.
We didn't get to see enough of them.
Yeah,
you're right. They were like just side characters or B-level villains, but I want to see more of those characters.
Yeah, and my fear is this. And don't get me wrong, I get it. And Florence Pugh, a very, very hot, popular property right now for sure. But I have a terrible, terrible feeling they're going to focus so much of the movie on her and Bucky that
it's going to be the
side characters are just going to stay side characters, not really going to get fleshed out a whole lot. They're just going to be there to kind of fill out the team. So
I don't disagree with you. There's probably going to be just like Gambit in Deadpool and Wolverine. They'll get like one cool scene, like me, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people have noticed that Taskmaster has, I believe you see her once in the trailer, and then you don't see her for the whole rest of the trailer. So people are actually predicting maybe her death, or maybe she's just not a fact. But there's even team lineups after that, and she's not in any of them when they're all together.
Let's be honest, even in the comics and the cartoons, Taskmaster wasn't even a B-villain. Taskmaster was like that villain. He's not the villain of the week. He's the villain that the team fights before in the intro, and then the villain of the week comes in, right? Taskmaster is I hate that character. I never thought that was a good character, and it was even more horribly done. I found in Black Widow. I wouldn't be surprised if they killed that character off right off the bat. That's probably going to be the first character to die. I agree. I
like the character's power. I like the suit, and I like the power. It's cool that she can immediately analyze your fighting style and then mimic your moves against you. I've always liked that style, like Rogue and Amazo, that type of thing, where they can essentially take your power and use it against you. It reminds me of Civil War when Robert Downey, like Iron Man, is fighting both Bucky and Cap, and he tells the suit to analyze the fight move so he can realistically start fighting back and shit. I thought that was really dope with Taskmaster, and that suit is fucking killer. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Yelena seems to be so popular that I'd be shocked if it didn't become her movie. They didn't focus it on Florence Pugh. Like she was just an Oppenheimer for fight. Like she's like the juicy fucking news. So I'm confident that we're just going to hear really terrible Russian accents from her and David Harbour for the whole film. That's super not going to get old in 10 minutes, I promise.
Yeah, you're kind of selling me out of not even being.
Don't please don't. Yes, I don't want to. No,
you're not wrong.
I know.
Kind of wanting more.
You're running my goddamn mouth. But watching that trailer and hearing them talk like friggin' Boris and Natasha, I'm like, oh
yeah. I'm gonna download this one.
Yeah, but again, I don't know.
I mean, who knows?
And of course,
it might be a massive hit, right?
The big question, by the way, guys, is if you see it says Thunderbolts, and then there's an asterisk. People are still contending what the asterisk means. If you look at the title of Thunderbolts, it literally types out Thunderbolts, and then there's an asterisk, and everybody's got questions as to what the asterisk is supposed to entail. Now, if you know Thunderbolts from the comic, which, by the way, the team is completely different in the comic, but the team is filling a very specific purpose and a gap, but it turns out it does kind of do a 180 in the comics, and again, the MCU has not been slavish to any of the comic Yeah, Dark Avengers. Yeah. So,
So which one's coming out first?
I believe Brave New World.
So
I
that
think
means
Brave New World
that.
comes out in Feb. I want to say.
So if Thunderbolts, okay, I guess it doesn't mean that the events of Thunderbolts are going to happen after the events of Brave New World, but if General Ross is
February. Yeah.
the main, I guess they're making him out to be the main villain. Well, we know
Well,
he's going to be
President Ross now.
Well, President Ross now. You're right. Although they're making him out to be the main villain, which I don't think he's going to be, and then gets revealed as the Red Hulk or gets turned into the Red Hulk.
Right.
Doesn't that mean he would be part of the Thunderbolts? Wasn't he the leader of the Thunderbolts?
Well, yeah, because he's
Wasn't he called General Thunderbolt Ross
Thunderbolt
for that
Ross.
specific reason?
Well, no, he was already. They were the other way. They were called the Thunderbolts because they were run by Thunderbolt Ross. Like he was already
correct.
He didn't get named after the team. The team got named after him.
Correct. Yeah. So
yeah,
that would imply that he is also going to be part of this movie.
Maybe that's what the asterisk is about. Maybe that's why there's an asterisk. I don't know.
Interesting.
May that one's coming out in May, so there's not going to be a huge gap between those two films.
So February, right? May, and then Fantastic Four in July.
Jesus.
Oh, that's actually coming out.
And then here's the other announcement that was released. The Fantastic Four are getting their own movie, and then they are jumping right into the next Avengers movie.
Can we pause for a second? Help me out here.
Yeah, give her.
I'm not the biggest comic book fan. Fantastic Four.
The guy that has like 60 comic books on his wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a poser. I'm just really trying to collect valuables here. What the fuck is the big deal with the Fantastic Four? Every single movie has flopped. None of those characters interest me. Why do they keep trying to push that and make it a thing?
So it was Marvel's first family. It was essentially the first major. It essentially launched the Silver Age for Marvel. Was Fantastic Four and of course Spider-Man and X-Men. But that they're called the first family of Marvel. It was almost like Stan Lee's first baby that he brought into the world was the Fantastic Four. So for whatever weird reason, that has made them near and dear to Marvel's hearts. In this case, Marvel Studios. So they almost feel like they're doing an injustice to their entire line if they're not trying to bring a fully realized, appreciated Fantastic Four movie to the screen.
Think they're going to be able to pull it off this time?
No. So I'm gonna asterisk this right here.
Mic drop. I'm out of here. Bye.
One thing about the Fantastic Four is if you look at a lot of the major events in the Marvel storylines, a lot of those big major crossover events either are because of the Fantastic Four or have something to do with the Fantastic Four. So when you're looking at something like the Secret Wars, you can't do Secret Wars without the Fantastic Four. Right? So that's why they're introducing Fantastic Four, and whether it's a hit or not, it doesn't matter. The characters are going to be out there, and now they're going to be able to include those characters within their storyline, whether they get another movie or a TV show or who knows what. Now, do I hope that they do them justice and it's going to be cool and different? I'm optimistically.
You're cautiously optimistic?
Cautiously optimistic.
I mean, they're going to have to, because like I'm saying, and again, I don't know as much as you guys do about this, but if you want to sell it to me, you got to do it right. And you've tried 3 times or whatever. And I can't even sit through one of the older movies.
And you know what they're doing is it's going to be completely different now, down to even what they look like. This is an alternate universe Fantastic Four we're getting. This is this universe
that they're in is like a future retro.
It's a future retro universe.
Yeah, so it's going to look like the 1960s is the universe that they're going to be in.
So it's like from the multiverse type of thing, and they're going to bring it in that way.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
We'll see how it goes.
Which is also how they're probably going to bring in the X-Men, right? I said this 2 years ago when they announced they were doing a Secret Wars. That's how they're launching the mutant world, the mutant universe. After Secret Wars, the Avengers are going to take a back seat. We're not going to get an Avengers movie for a while. Then we're going to get X-Men universe movies. We're going to get those characters in that world, and that's what they're going to be building out for the next little while. Because in the comic book world, those are the characters that sold millions and millions and millions of comic books, not the Iron Mans and the Thors, and it's the X-Men books, X-Force, X-Men, New Mutants. Like that whole mutant world was massive in the comic books, and that's
correct,
what leading
Andre.
to.
Yep.
And yeah, that's why they're doing what they're doing now.
To be fair, they've already done a bunch of storylines that were supposed to have specific characters in it and didn't. So it's not like they can't figure out. And even to your point, a lot of the times they don't need the Fantastic Four. They just need Reed because Reed has his fingers in fucking everything in the comics. Fair. But like I said, the MCU has already shown they don't really give a shit about comic book continuity or canon or whatever.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
they'll just massage the story.
So like, why bring them in just to bridge us to the mutants?
And I think, and that's the weird part about like with Phase 4 and Phase 5, they've introduced between the TV shows and the films, they've introduced so many new characters that they haven't really managed to gel together and make it seem like they did in the first 3 phases with one continuous narrative over several films. It seems like they just scattered a bunch of things out there. And then I don't know, I guess they're going to try to pick and choose what worked and what didn't maybe, but now you're introducing even more new characters on top of all that. So like, how do you bring all of this shit together and make it feel cohesive in 2 movies in Doomsday and Secret Wars? So
I think Secret Wars is going to be.
Well, I think you have to, like, that's the formula, right? Like what do you do? So you introduce all these characters and just not to use them?
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that a lot of the old MCU stuff, you're not going to see anymore. That stuff is done.
Yeah.
No, but just, okay, cool. No, that's fine. But think about how many new characters you've gotten introduced just in Phase 4 and 5.
Yeah, well, Phase 5. Well, when does Phase 5 start?
We're in it, aren't we?
Yeah, but when?
Oh, like, when did it start?
Yeah,
I'm all, I don't know. The TV shows have really fucked.
Yeah, Phase 5 was mostly TV shows, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of new MCU, Sensitivity Little. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
I mean, and most didn't stick with all the TV shows, Kang, Quantum,
Yeah, okay. All that stuff is done. And what's his face? Jonathan Majors is legal troubles.
No, he's already out. Yeah, that's
what I'm saying. Jonathan Majors' legal troubles, I think, have forced Marvel's hands at completely changing the direction.
I'm so glad you brought this up. So what I like to do every now and then is I like to go back and listen to old podcasts and usually like really old podcasts, just to like nostalgia to see like where we were way back when.
Wait, you mean you go back and listen to our old
podcast? And so I was listening to, I think it was episode like 90 something. And it was when we did our top 10 Christmas movies list.
Yeah.
And it was just me, you, and producer Jen, actually, which was rare. That was a very rare bird for just the 3 of us to be on a podcast. But that was also the week that Henry Cavill and James Gunn had simultaneously announced that Henry Cavill would no longer be Superman. It was just out from Black Adam. It was like 2 months after that, and they had both just announced that he would no longer be Superman. And so we were asking the chat and asking ourselves, who should we cast Henry Cavill as in the MCU, assuming that Kevin Feige would immediately call that dude's agent and be like, we got to get this guy in the MCU. What do we do? Do you remember who you said Henry Cavill should be?
Wolverine?
No.
I don't remember then.
You said he should be Doom.
Yeah.
And all I could think of when I was listening to that yesterday morning was when they revealed Robert Downey Jr. at SDCC, when he stepped forward in that green suit and he took off this mask. Could you fucking imagine if that exact scene had played out and someone stepped forward in a green suit and it was Henry Cavill? The roof wouldn't have been on that building anymore. People would have lost their I love RDJ. He's the fucking man. Don't get me wrong. He is Mr. Marvel, but holy goddamn shit. How amazing. I couldn't believe that I was listening to that and I knew we'd be talking about Doom today. And I'm like, yeah, JS knocked it out of the fucking park with that one. He would have made such a good Victor Von Doom. And instead we're getting, and again, love me some Robert Downey Jr. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah, I don't like him as Doom though.
No, it's weird. It's like I said, you're gonna put him under so much fucking makeup that it's not him, or it's gonna be some weird, multiverse, alternate reality bullshit thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's not playing Tony Stark. He's playing Victor Von Doom, but from their universe, right?
I don't know.
In their universe, Victor Von Doom, I guess, looks like Tony Stark for some. odd reason.
I said it then, and I'll say it now.
Um,
Can they pull this off? Yeah, probably. Will they pull this off? I don't know, man. Their recent track record.
Yeah, I've losing.
Yeah,
One thing I can't agree on though with what's going on in the comments is that Agatha was a pretty good show. Very good show.
I haven't
You guys
watched it.
watched it. Haven't seen it?
Yeah,
It
No.
is really good. Yep, it's good. It's worth your time.
I've been hearing nothing but good things about it.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of people say it's the better Marvel show to come out of Disney Plus. Like,
Absolutely. Yep, for sure.
so we have to check it out. We haven't watched it yet.
One of the key things that they did, I just want to add, is dialing back on the like virtual effects and adding back in more practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
I love what.
Yeah, and I heard it was really cost effective too. Like apparently, it was one of the cheaper MCU shows to date, which really helped out because it wasn't a ratings juggernaut. They said it was pulling in roughly the same numbers as like Acolyte and such, although the ratings went up as the show went on as opposed to down like Acolyte. So I mean, at least it was gaining audience as it was going through. And I think a lot of what you're talking about, just good word of mouth. Like people were like, guys, you should check it out. It's like it's a good show.
Like a decent show. Yeah.
Yeah.
They managed to
Queen Arlene saying, I'm looking forward to Creature Commandos, as
Me too.
am I. Andre
too.
saying it looks insane.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
And then of course next year we got Superman coming out too, and apparently we're very close. James Gunn is saying a trailer is put together and he's seen it, so we're hoping before the end of the year we're going to get a trailer for. I'm telling you now, man, like I'm getting like heart palpitations thinking about this because the entirety of this whole new DCU hangs on this Superman movie.
It does. If that movie crashes,
if it's a steaming pile of shit. Even if it's received well and it's critiqued well, but it doesn't make beaucoup dollars, but it makes just enough that it even breaks even, we're fine. But if it gets shit on immediately, if it's like a 32 on fucking Rotten Tomatoes and it takes a bath at the box office, guys, DC is no more. You will not be seeing any more DC movies for a very long time. They will let the property probably sit vacant for like 10 years and then they'll try to bring it back in some way, shape, or form, hoping everybody will have forgotten about whatever's going on. So. Andor season 2, yeah, I've been having trouble sleeping lately, so I'm hoping that's coming back. That'll be a good cure for insomnia. That'll be great.
Yeah, Andor season 2.
By the way, from the least expensive MCU show to the most expensive Star Wars show.
That's why that's like the second episode.
That's why it's only getting one more season because it's very, very expensive. So to do that,
there's Star Wars Visions season 3 is coming.
Yeah, I saw that. That got greenlit.
That got announced. It's coming in 2025. Toho made an announcement on their Instagram earlier this month. I forget when. They have greenlit a new Godzilla movie with the director of -1.
I mean,
so they're going the -1.
They're good. Well, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
Well, that's who made -1 was Toho, right? Like that's
it is.
That's the original property owners of.
But -1 was a bit of a reboot. So this is going to be a sequel to -1, essentially.
Is it -2?
-2?
Like,
I don't know.
+1 maybe.
+1.
Godzilla 0. Godzilla 0 actually sounds pretty cool. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't love -1. Yeah, I didn't. I had a hard time interfacing with it. Yeah,
it was good.
And I think that was the problem. I think when I went in with it with a lot of hype, because everybody was talking about how it was just the most insanely great Godzilla movie ever, and I went into it and I was like, all right, that was a movie of all time.
I mean, I guess that's kind of the thing, right? It's not even really a Godzilla movie when you think about it, right? It's man, I mean, there's so many layers to that movie. That's why I loved it so much, right? It's not even about Godzilla, it's about the people. It's about those people that you're following through that experience. It gave me a little bit of Cloverfield vibes. I mean, I know they're different style of movies in terms of Cloverfield being a handheld camera. It's not what I'm saying, but
It's just cool seeing Godzilla being an absolute dick.
Yeah,
100%.
like
There's no anti-hero in -1. He was like,
No.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and fuck shit up. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Andre bringing up a good point. Talking about a recent television show based on a comic that got rave reviews, The Penguin. Jesus wept. People are talking about this in the same words as like The Sopranos and The Wire and shit. They're talking about how really, really good this was. So now that it's finally all out, I'm gonna binge it, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that.
I was gonna say, have you guys watched it? I
have not.
I haven't had chance to.
I was waiting for the whole thing to come out, so I want to binge the whole thing, and I might even actually hold off a little bit because I know it's supposed to. Spoiler alert: Robert Pattinson's Batman is not in the show. They were very adamant about the Batman not being in the show, but from what I understand, it is supposed to sort of it is the gap holder between Batman 1 and Batman 2. So I may wait a little bit, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. Christina saying Predator Badlands, November 7th, 2025. We were talking about that briefly.
Yeah. So, a lot of people have been saying, oh, sequel to Prey, sequel to Prey, sequel to Prey. And I was like, there's never any actual information saying this was a sequel to Prey. We've never had a sequel to a Predator movie. Why would we start? Actually, that's not true. AVP Requiem was a sequel, I guess, to AVP, but that's it.
And Predator 2 at least references Predator 1, right?
It does, but it's not a direct sequel, right? It's not the same cast. It's not the same Predator. It's another story.
I got you now.
Right. Which this is looking like it's not going to be. It's not in the same. It doesn't even look like it's the same time frame. Different actress that they've hired for the main cast. And like you were saying, Jeff, earlier, they're saying the director said that the Predator in this is going to be the hero of the movie.
The protagonist at the very least.
At the very least. He does say hero in the quote, but
did it? Oh, I just saw protagonist.
Yeah.
So
hang on, I have it here.
I think that's an interesting take.
It
takes place on another planet. Yeah, so did the Predator. So did Predators, which of everything that followed Predator 2 was probably my favorite.
Predators was the best.
Predators I enjoyed. Yeah. And I especially like the concept of it. But yeah, in Predator Badlands, the Predator is supposed to be the hero, protagonist, whatever you want to call it, not just this relentless hunter that's hunting other humans and gutting them like fish. But I'm the one guy that likes Predator 2. You're not, Andre. I fucking love Predator 2.
Yeah, sorry. You know what? It's the article that says he's going to be the hero, not Trachtenberg. His quote says the creature is front and center, leading the charge. He's still badass, but there's something there that touches you emotionally too. That's the one thing I'm worried about. Creating a character you connect with, but also super intimidated by. He's been challenging but exciting. I don't want to connect emotionally with a Predator. Like what?
I've always wanted. My dream has always been a Predator movie where they and I know the comics have done this a lot, but they've never really done it on live action. And I've even complained about this before. Like sometimes taking the veil off something can make it a lot weaker. But I've always wanted a movie that explores Predator society and castes and hierarchies and how they go from this to that, or how they choose. Like I would love a Predator focused film. For that to work, though, it does kind of feel like it kind of has to be the protagonist, or at least like this central character that you're moving through the film with, and that you're quote unquote cheering for. But I've always kind of wanted to see things from their point of view and how their world and their society works in such a manner, because it really shouldn't work at all, but it does. So I would love that. I don't know that we're ever going to get something quite like that, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I would also love to see that kind of a movie, Jeff, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool. Tiffany gets kicked out of the channel, by the way. That's not Tiffany. I've never seen a Predator movie. Didn't even know it existed until
Oh my God.
Kick people from the chat.
Really?
What?
Never even knew it existed? Wow.
Christina is saying I wanted Colonial Marines versus Predators in space. That's a concept I could get behind. I always loved the idea of, and I think it was Noah that put this idea in my mind a couple of years ago, of a story where something happens to the predator's home planet. And then you guys remember Red October?
The Hunt for October?
No, not the Hunt for Red
Oh.
October. Maybe that's not the
October
Red
Revolution?
Skies. Red Skies, where the
Never even heard of
Russians
that.
attack with Patrick Swayze, where the Russians attack, and
Red
then you
Dawn?
got Red Dawn.
Yeah.
Red Dawn.
Red Skies.
Something to that effect, but where something happens and attacks the predator home worlds and wipes out most of their civilization, and then the remainder of the predators go on the hunt, defending the planet from this whatever it is. Christy's saying blocker.
Aggressive.
He says Marvel has announced a Spider-Man versus Predator comic. Oh, I mean that'll be interesting.
I have the original Batman versus Predator run.
So do I.
Which was very, very cool, actually.
Yeah.
And it feels like a bit more of a fair fight, but yeah.
So,
I don't know, man.
Tell you what,
I'm
I'm
excited.
looking forward to,
Yeah,
though.
give her. Yep.
While we're talking about Predator, I'm going to pivot a little tiny bit.
Yeah, give her, man.
Alien Earth
Yeah.
coming out summer next year, 2025 on Hulu. I'm very much looking forward to that because even though I cosplay a Predator and probably one of the things I'm most known for, I love Xenomorphs. Love them to the point where I am getting a Xenomorph sleeve. I got my console lined up 2 weeks from now.
Nice.
But yeah, very much looking forward to that show. There hasn't been much of a trailer out for that, although a new teaser trailer came out this week, which gives us a little bit of info about it.
Yes, it did confirm the timeline. So
the timeline.
Yes, where this takes place across the movies and such, as far as that goes. Well, initially they thought it was going to be decades before the events of the first Alien film, like closer to the time of Prometheus, but now it's happening just 2 years before Alien, the first Alien film. Yeah. So Alien took place in 21-22. This is going to take place in 21-20. So, and it's exactly what it sounds like, guys. The show's called Alien Earth. So Noah Hawley is the one that has created and is running the show. He did Fargo and he did Legion.
Okay, hang on a second. Yeah. By the way, Legion was amazing. I love Legion. That was a great show.
I keep meaning to go back. I never watched it.
A great brain fuck of a show, man. It's I loved it. What was the other thing you said he was making?
Fargo and he did Fargo and Legion, and now he's doing Alien Earth.
Now, are there actually going to be like aliens, like xenomorphs in this on Earth? Is that what the idea is?
A mysterious space vessel crash lands on Earth. A young woman and a ragtag group of tactical soldiers make a fateful discovery that puts them face to face with the planet's greatest threat in the sci-fi horror series Alien Earth.
So what they're saying then is that 2 years before that happened in space, a xenomorph landed on Earth. So Earth already knew about xenomorph by the time that ship got back.
No. So I did a little bit of research here, and the way that they're going to try to make this fit into the canon. So within Alien canon, there are two relevant moons, right? So in the latest trailer that we got, there's a voice over that says that we had collected specimens from a faraway moon. There are only two moons in the Alien canon. The first one is LV-426, which is where the Nostromo finds the alien in the very first Alien movie, and where the colony is established in Aliens. And then there's LV-223, which is a neighboring moon where Prometheus takes place.
Right.
So the way they're trying to sell it is almost like two spaceships passing in the night, right? So one is off. The Alien the movie takes place 2 years later, and it's already a spaceship flying, whereas this other one's like almost returning.
I got you.
Right? So basically, it's like they had collected these specimens from the moon, and then presumably something happens on the ship. Right? We get an infection. it probably crashes on its way back to Earth with everybody dead with a live xenomorph, and then show ensues type of thing, right? Very risky because if that was to happen based on what we've seen, then all of Earth would get taken over by aliens. But we'll see how it happens.
Hey, is a xenomorph cosplay in any way possible? Ask
I have so
Andre
many
Ferguson.
thoughts on that, but
You have
every
another hour?
alien xenomorph I've seen in cosplay looks dumb. It's just somebody standing straight up like a pole with a xenomorph head. To pull that off, you have to be able to get down on your knees and be flexible and be able to move like a xenomorph. Otherwise, it looks like some dumbass just standing there with a xenomorph head on his shoulders, in my opinion, anyway.
I agree.
Yep.
Very,
Tough.
very hard to pull
There's a
off.
reason you don't see them at conventions, right? It's
Yeah.
there's been
We've
many
toyed with
thoughts.
the idea
Yeah.
of it, like
Yeah.
Megan's
We've
saying.
been- yes, we
If
have
anyone
been trying to
could pull
convince.
it off. She
It is
could.
Megan, 100%. Yeah.
Um,
So we got it. I think it's one of those like if you guys build it, I'll wear it. So
Well, we've talked about
But
it a
that's-
couple times, but
that's not a
yeah.
small task. That's a highly, very, very detailed costume for
It
sure. There's a
is.
lot of
building that requires
stuff going on. Yeah. That'd be a
access to
major
the
undertaking.
person, and there's geographic limits here.
Now, could we build something that is more of a puppeted thing, where like a puppeted queen, where you're inside the body of the queen, and then you can make her head and mouth move or something like that? Maybe, I don't know. But again, we're talking about a giant costume, and no, there's not going to be a xenomorph. I can't imagine. us-
We'll figure it out at some point. Will we?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't.
We
think so.
can. We probably could. I've got some ideas of how we could pull it off, but again,
I'll tell you what, it's not going to be this year. Next year's not
No.
looking too good either. But hey, there's
You never
2026,
know.
2027. You never know. As long as
You
someone's
never
still
know.
willing to. Megan's only like 19 or however fucking young Megan is. So, I mean, I'm not worried about her being able to move in this shit, right? None of us are putting the fucking costume on. Absolutely. You want to talk about standing like a pole? That's exactly what would happen. So,
Yeah.
I can't even do Spider-Man poses anymore. You think I'm going to be able to do that shit? Not a chance. I would still like to do a Colonial Marine at some point. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. I got so many different things and thoughts.
I'm
and shit
thinking
I
we
wanna
could get
do.
you in
It's
as a
not-
third Predator.
I would wear a third Predator, 100% I would. But then we still need a mouthpiece, right? That's kind of the issue. We need somebody to talk. So I feel like that's going to be a little bit more difficult if all three of us are. I'm going back to yoga again, says Megan. Yes.
Yeah.
If we ever pull this off, yeah, you best be getting your ass back to yoga. You're going to need it.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah. Any other news that you guys have kind of seen or you guys want to touch on while we're
Did you guys hear
chatting
about this
shit?
new William Shatner back as Kirk thing?
No, someone was mentioning some sort of de-aging.
Yeah, so it's called 765874 Unification. And it's a mostly silent film. It's mostly just audio. And William Shatner was involved in this, and so was the Leonard Nimoy estate. The Leonard Nimoy scenes are all CG. And then Shatner is AI de-aged. So it's kind of like a CG / live action reunion of Kirk and check it
That
out.
sounds
It's-
absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I mean it's actually kind of neat. It's 10 minutes long. Like I said, I
That sounds
check it out.
disturbing. That sounds
It's actually pretty
weird.
cool.
That
It's
sounds-
actually
really
pretty cool. I forget why they did this. Actually, I don't
Money?
know if I have it up.
It's usually money.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's available free
Just
on
saying.
YouTube. So I mean,
Typically, money's the reason, but
Oh Jesus.
yeah, that's yeah. I don't know, man. That feels egregious. That feels
It's
you're
like
bringing
the
back Leonard Nimoy in CG and then de-aging William Shatner. Guy, let's just let it go.
let him die, let
Like,
it go. Yeah. It's like
yeah.
bringing back Tupac on stage as a
Yeah,
hologram.
like,
Like,
what are you doing?
please don't.
That feels weird. I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. I haven't seen it, but I don't like the concept of it. That's for sure.
you should check it out. because
It's always rubs me the wrong way.
he
Like,
looks amazing.
oh, I'm sure he does.
Shatner,
But
I mean, he does. I'm just looking through the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
through the
looks
video
like
now,
he
but-
did in the Days of Generations. Like he still looks
Right.
exactly like that.
right.
It's craziness.
Did they CGI the wig really good? Like, did they give him the
Just
toupee
check it
upgrade?
out. Tell you what, hey guys, if you're a Trekkie, go check it out.
Or
And
does it
apparently
still look
Jeff's
like
not
a-
a fan, and that's
a
okay. He
dead
doesn't have to
raccoon
like
on his
everything.
head, is
He's
it?
a you know crusty old man. What are you gonna
He
do?
is.
right?
I guess
The
Leonard
crusty is-
Nimoy looks like they
Yeah.
just kind of popped open dug him up and put him in this video. He doesn't
That's not.
look
See, I don't
good
want that, man. I'm
at all.
good. Thank you. That's not cool. It reminds me of Rogue One when they brought back Tarkin. I fucking hated that so much.
That was horrible.
So
was
much. And now I'm getting the same vibes from it. I
Yeah.
don't want to see it. I don't like it. I don't want it.
He didn't
Get
look
it,
good.
move it away. Let him stay. Let him be dead.
We were talking about Prey earlier. Another quick piece here. Monarch season 2 is going into production. Amber Midthunder is now going to be on the show.
Oh, cool. Good for her. I'm glad it's leading to more gigs for her. She was great.
Yeah. So I don't know what she's going to be playing. I don't know that there's any details yet, but she is cast a star in season 2. So
That's a good show. I like that show.
see, I don't have Apple TV, so I haven't been able to watch it. So
I don't have it either, but
we
be sailing the high seas.
Give me your
This chair be high, says I.
one that I wanted to actually talk about before we go. Did you guys see the How to Train Your Dragons trailer?
The live action. I did.
What did you think?
Rob, have you seen the trailer yet?
No, I haven't. I saw 4 seconds of what the oh my god, why is the dragon's name
Toothless?
Toothless? No, I haven't. Basically, the answer to your question is no.
I love that they brought Gerard Butler in to play his own character.
Mhm.
I think that's fantastic. He's
Mhm.
absolutely the right age. I think the guy that they grabbed to play Hiccup is decent. He's not quite there, but he's okay. My problem is actually Toothless, because How to Train Your Dragon wasn't classically animated. It was computer animation,
Mhm.
right?
And because of
Toothless
that,
is the CGI character. So
Yeah.
Toothless to me looks exactly the same.
Yeah,
he looks like a cartoon.
looking at it, that's exactly what it looks like. Yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
impression I walked away with.
Yeah.
It's like this is live
Because I
action,
saw a
except for
still of
Toothless.
the Hiccup actor putting his, and I thought it was still just like, I thought that was still just like computer generated. Like I thought the whole thing was computer generated.
That's my main issue with this movie
Mm-hmm.
is they're making it look like, just like they did with The Lion King, it's pretty much going to be shot for shot the same movie.
And all the dragons just look like the
And all
same
the
dragons.
look the same as
Because
they
at
did in
least-
the cartoon.
The Lion King was like classically animated though. So when you moved it to live action and it was real lions looking like real lions that were
Mhm.
CG, then at least there was a clear separation. But like, there's no dragon. So like they can't make it look like a real dragon because it doesn't exist. So all the dragons in that trailer look exactly like their CGI counterparts in the CGI film. And it's only the real life actors that look different. But now all the dragons look at I don't know, man. I kind of don't get
I
it.
don't dig it. I don't dig it either.
Do not like the guy that they have playing God,
Hiccup?
what's his name? Hiccup, yeah.
I don't know him at all. I don't know any of the cast. I just know Gerard Butler, and he was the dad in the original movie, and he's the dad in this.
Yeah.
So
Great
that's
call
cool.
there. That's the best
Yeah.
casting choice, but the rest of it looks a little wonky.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
any
it's
of them.
fortunate for him because he actually gets to use his real accent, which he almost
Yeah.
never gets to use
No.
in film. So yeah, it's nice to hear him be able to use his. Yeah, it's a weird choice. Yeah, it's conceptually I kind of get, but they almost had to make the dragon more photorealistic if they were going to try this and not make it just look like a
Yeah.
CGI creation.
Yeah,
Because then it just looks like it did in the cartoon. And you're just like,
Yeah,
well,
and that's
okay.
a missed opportunity. If you're gonna do
Yeah.
this,
Yeah, you got to go all out or just not do it.
and they
personally, but-
almost make the characters look like they're almost CG as well. Like when you watch the trailer, there's almost a CG quality to the
Well, because all the backgrounds too are clearly CG. They're either on a volume or it's all green screen too, right? So it's like nothing's real,
It doesn't. Yeah, it's a
which would be
very
fine
weird
if it was its
movie.
own property, right? If it was just something that was brand new that we were
100%.
getting, you'd be like, "This is great." But because it's already
100%.
based on a CGI film,
And then you're making a CGI your remake.
Yeah, with some live action characters in it. You're like,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Listen, that seems like a lot of money spent that they're not going to bring back. That's what
I
it looks
imagine
like
it's
to
a
me.
lot of money spent. Yeah, I don't
To
know.
make something like that, the amount of money that they had to spend, I cannot imagine. Like this is going to be
I
like
mean,
$300,000,
apparently
$400,000, $1 million budget.
that Lion King movie apparently wasn't even very good, and it made a gobbet $1 million. So I mean, it made enough for them to make Jungle Book the live action too, right? So I mean, those movies at least
So,
made money.
You're
even
right.
apparently they weren't very good.
You're right, but if you look at, you know what, I disagree a little bit. The Jungle
Okay.
Book was actually pretty good,
Okay.
and the live action Lion King. Everybody that I know that is a Lion King fan loves
Right.
the Lion King live action.
Okay.
Really like
Okay.
it. But
Yeah.
me, I think it's silly that you're going to remake the same movie almost line for line, shot for shot. That I don't get that. Like, then go watch the original, right? Like, that's the one thing for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where this gets me. It doesn't look right, and then it's just another. I don't know.
So Megan said
I
every
would've
comment I've seen online
rather-
from people saying how happy they are that it's true the original, which I don't get what the point is of a new movie if it's just
Yeah.
the same movie.
I would have rather they like used Justin Long and DH'd him for that for Hiccup.
I would have rather they went
That
the
Was it
would've
Justin
been-
Long or was it Jay Baruchel?
more like the book.
I think it's Jay Baruchel that
It
that
is
was the
Jay
voice of Hiccup.
Baruchel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Who I agree with you. I think it would have been.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't get the line by line remake. Do
yeah,
something
yeah.
new. Yeah,
But Justin Long looks more in my mind what
like Hiccup.
would look
Agreed.
like. Yeah,
Yeah. No, 100%.
That's who I would have.
But yeah, like it would be even cool if you decided to move the property from strictly CG animation to a live action with CG characters. If you're going to continue to tell the tale, like if you're telling a new story but with those characters, then I'm at least a little more down. But if it's just a shot for shot of the first film in quote unquote live action, where all of it's going to be green screen and mostly CGI characters anyway, what's the fucking point?
Yeah. Why?
Well, even worse, like Andrew Saxon is mentioning here, they're doing a live action Moana when there's a Moana sequel coming out. So they're doing a Moana sequel, and then they're doing a live action remake of the Moana movie.
I'm sorry, and I'm not sure where that comment went, but did they say The Rock is in it as well?
Yeah, the
In
Rock
a muscle
is
suit. Rock is also in a
playing-
muscle suit.
Yeah, in a muscle
Which
suit.
I mean, I've never seen Moana, but does he need to be in a muscle suit? The Rock is
our
like
movie's
3
dead?
people.
Like our movie's dead.
Well, here's the
just
problem.
given
That's
up?
what I just said, though. Like that Lion King movie made like $1 bajillion, and I think the Jungle Book movie made really good money too. And they were just shot for shot remakes of those films.
Mm-hmm.
So if it
True Disney
works,
style, right? Like
right. I know
guess
everybody
it's
loves
John
Disney, but
Favreau
Disney's a
got to
company
Iron
that has
Man.
stockholders that they have to, that they have to answer to. So Disney's
thought-
going to make whatever is going to make the most possible money for them. And if people are going to plunk down their $20 to watch this film, this is what we're going to get, kids. So if
That's
you don't
what
like
John
these ideas, make sure you mention that with your pocketbook. Don't fucking go see these movies.
I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen the live action remake. Why bother?
That's how
No,
John
hey,
Favreau
Jennifer, no,
got
I
the
get-
money
Yeah,
to-
I
he
get what
could go
Jennifer's
ahead
saying,
and make-
right? It was never
Iron
meant to be. Lion King live action was never intended to tell a new story. No. Sorry, I wasn't referring to Lion King. I was more referring to How to Train Your Dragon. But I do understand what you're saying. I guess at the end of the day, if I have a choice between paying $20 to watch a shot-for-shot remake just in a different format, or just watch The Lion King that I already have, I don't know. Obviously, I'm in the minority because y'all went out and saw it. So clearly it worked. Oh, Snow White too. Yes, we're getting a live action Snow White, but at least that movie's
Didn't we
like
have a live
100
action
years
Snow
old.
White already.
Well, I mean,
Didn't we already have that?
We
Pretty sure
did,
there was
but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't
shot
Snow
for
White
shot
and the
remake
Seven
of the
Dwarfs.
original one. It was like
No.
Snow White and one of the cheaper Hemsworth brothers.
Beauty and the
Yeah,
Beast live
Snow
action
White
made
and
so
the
much money,
Huntsman or whatever it
there you
was.
go, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I know? I don't know nothing. Live action apparently is where it's
I have
at.
not seen any of these movies.
Yeah. I now prefer the live action Lion King. Well, there you go.
See?
Yeah, man. No, that's cool. And I guess, like I said, I think the gap between that, because that was just classic animation, like hand-drawn animation, and then now it was quote
CG.
unquote complete live action, but CG live action. But it was photorealistic CG. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it looks like a fucking lion. Like you can go to the zoo and see that lion. You know what I mean? Toothless does not look like a photorealistic, what would be an interpretation of a dragon. It looks like a cartoon.
Cartoon.
Yeah. So live action Beauty and the Beast, 1.266 billion, and Lion King, 1.657 billion. Hi. I'm out of here. Bye. I'm moving to fucking
make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Soviet Russia, because Jesus Christ.
Well, I guess they're not making them as movies for us. They're just reselling them to the next generation.
And I get it when you're telling me about something like Snow White.
Well,
right?
Megan is saying Disney hasn't done a proper Snow White remake. Yeah.
Or when you're talking about Moana, I mean, for crying out loud, like you're gonna tell me that the Moana sequel that's coming out is not for that same generation that they're rebooting this movie in live action?
Yeah. TTFN ta-ta for now. If the dragons were practical effects, I'd give them my $20. That's all I'm saying.
That would be something.
Or make them look like the Game of Thrones dragons. Like make them look like they're actual creatures, right?
Yeah.
Toothless looks exactly the same.
It looks like they all look just like they did in the cartoon.
Rob, when are you going to see Wicked?
When am I? You know what? When is it out? Is it out now?
I think it's just out.
I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen any Wicked, any previous, or seen any of it. But when I saw the trailer for the new stuff, I was actually like, "That looks interesting." Maybe
give her, man.
Like, I was for the first time actually interested in that.
Yeah, that type of film.
That film, that type of film.
Yeah.
You've never seen Oz. You've never seen The Wizard of Oz. You've never.
This is based on the Broadway musical, right? So this is definitely a very different vibe, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen any of that Wicked side of things. I never had any interest in it. Not my jive. And then when I saw the trailer for it, I'm like, okay, looks interesting. I would see this.
I can get into that. Yeah, for sure, man.
So I would
based off the book
would
and
actually
musical.
go see it.
All right, there you go. Yeah.
When am I going to go see it? I don't know. Whenever my wife and I can find a time to go see it.
Yeah, this is the musical, isn't it? Like with the songs and everything, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's meant to be like a film version of the musical, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But
it looks really good.
Wrong.
What's Megan saying there? They don't even need to be like the Game of Thrones dragons. They could go for a more realistic dragon that's salamander or gecko stylized. So it still looks more like the silhouette of Toothless. Yeah, I mean, I haven't read the How to Train Your Dragon books. From my understanding, is Toothless looks nothing in the books like he does in the cartoons. He's the size of a small dog in the books. So if you're gonna remake it, and in the books, Toothless is not a big dragon like he is in the cartoons. In the books, How to Train Your Dragon, Toothless is the size of a small dog. Astrid doesn't even exist. Astrid is not in the book.
No. Hold on. How does Hiccup ride a small dog?
I don't think he rides him at all.
Well, these books suck. What are they even about?
Right. So the point I'm trying to make here is
to train your dragon. It's really easy to train a dragon when it's fucking the size of a cockapoo.
Like fuck.
Jesus Christ.
The point I'm trying to make is if you're gonna make a remake of a movie, at least if you base it on something else and the property that still has fucking running TV shows. Like, do you know what
I mean? Not the size of a dog. Who fucking cares? A dragon is the size of a small dog? No, ma'am. I love you, Jennifer. No, dumb. How to Train Your Dragon. Drain what? Fetch? Pee on the hydrant? Like, who gives a shit? My fierce and mighty dragon. It's size of a Pomeranian. Fuck off.
I think the whole point of Hiccup is he can actually calm the dragons. He doesn't talk to the dragons, but
he's the dragon whisperer.
He's the dragon whisperer, right? So that's the whole point, right?
This is the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this, but no, it's not. But I mean, it's like top 20.
Megan says
top 25.
Sign me up for a Muppet version. See,
Megan's like, no, fuck off.
Live
Fuck off,
action.
all of you. Stop it. Stop it.
But to
Terrible.
make him just look exactly like he
Awful.
does in the cartoon, that seems dumb to me. That seems like a
It is dumb.
weird,
Wasted
weird-
opportunity. It's gonna make a.
And we're going to be grumpy old men, and it's going to make $1 billion
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
dollars. And we're going to be like, what's wrong with society?
It is.
Get off
It
my
I'm just
is.
going to shake my fist at the fucking clouds.
It's not how they made
Christ.
CGI dragons in my day.
God damn it. Why is it the size of a small dog?
I got cats bigger than this dragon.
I mean, you sure do.
Can we
was there
wrap this
any other
fucking
news?
shit show
Yeah,
up?
we've been on for like an hour and a half.
Holy
Was there any
mother.
other news you guys wanted to
Who in the
talk about?
fuck is even? How are there still over 20 people that are tuning into this shit? Are you just all just like sadists? Like, what's wrong with you guys? You guys are still here for this shit. Yes, this Sunday, the Geeky Holiday Market that our good friends at London Comic Con, Jake puts on. They're going to have a plethora of Santas. Apparently, they're going to have a bunch of, like, it's going to be a multiverse collision. There's going to be a Gandalf Santa. There's going to be a Deadpool Santa. There's going to be all kinds of different Santas. It's, I believe, advanced tickets are $6.50, $10 at the door at Centennial Hall in London. This is, I don't know, the 4th or 5th year that they've done this. So if you're going to be in the London area, don't drive 3.5 hours to come to this. But if you're going to be in the area, definitely come out. It's a good time. There's a lot of like handmade stuff and unique vendors at this one. It really is. It's a market. It's not meant to be like a con or whatever. It's meant for you to come out and grab some last minute gifts for your friends and loved ones. So definitely take some time to check out $10. I mean, come on, who can't afford $10? So Christmify your costume if you're going to come in one, and yeah, it should be a good time.
Should be a good time.
Yep, but I think that's like the final. Like we keep saying, that's the last thing of the year, and then fucking 4 other fucking things come up. But I think, fingers crossed,
Only mid-November.
it might actually be the last thing of the year. So, what about you guys? What's happening in
There's gonna be
the
like
hipping
3
and
more
hopping
events
world
between
of Curtis?
Nothing. There's nothing happening.
Nothing.
There's never anything going on in this end of town. We need to do some stuff in this end of it. I want to say the GTA. We're not
keep
even in
saying
the
that.
GTA is the problem. We're not even in Durham. We're not in the GTA. We're not in Durham. We're in Clarington. So that's the problem, right? So
if you build it,
we are
will come.
definitely in Durham. I guarantee you that.
we are. Curtis is at Clarington. It's not Durham.
Clarington is in Durham, bud.
Pretty sure Clarington is not considered Durham. Port Hope is considered Durham. Newcastle is considered Durham.
Why don't we take this offline?
what are we doing? How does this get worse?
Yeah. Clarington is 100% in Durham, buddy. I guarantee you on a reasonable doubt.
I'm arguing with the guy that works
save
in the
me
city,
from
right?
this bullshit. This is the worst thing that's ever happened on this pod.
Andrew's saying Krampus is coming to town too. That's right. You can have
Coming over here.
Krampus was showing up at the.
Another video of him banging on the door. Fuck you! It's not Durham. It is Durham.
It's Durham.
Oh shit!
All right, folks. I think we're gonna cut it off here.
Please,
You're
please.
still with us. Thanks for watching. If you haven't clicked that like and subscribe button, please do. It really helps us out. Be sure to subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, I don't know what you're doing, but
Yeah.
the like really helps as well.
Hmm.
Thanks to the boys. You guys have a great week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay geeky. I'm sure we'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Geek Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss an episode.